New Order, here to stay on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais.
We're here to stay.
Yeah.
For the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
All right.
That's Steve Merchant there.
Hello there.
We're with our producer here, Karl Pilkington. We'll be talking to Karl a little bit later because we've got to have his thoughts on Aesop's Fables, continuing the education of Karl. We've got some great music coming up, haven't
Bloody
we?
good music.
A little bit of, what have we got? Happy Mondays.
Badly Drawn Boy.
Yeah, all that. Bob Dylan.
All sorts.
All sorts coming up.
Yeah, Rick, I don't know, I just wanted to bring your attention to this. Someone passed this on to me. It's from the Guardian's media website. There has a sort of website that's dedicated to kind of media information.
Is this about our complaint?
Well, the headline is Comedian Rapped Over Radio Innuendo.
Right.
Jessica Hodgson has written the article.
Go on.
Are you familiar with this? Have you
Well,
seen
be
this?
careful now because we actually got a complaint. A lot of people don't know this. We got a complaint upheld, and
Well, all of this
we're
is
very sorry. We didn't mean to offend. And it was a while ago, so we are going to be very careful. Karl's getting very nervous. We're just going to read out. We're not going to editorialise, Karl. We're just going to read out what the Guardian printed about us. All right? Okay.
Comedian Ricky Gervais has had a dressing down from a broadcasting watchdog for his repeated use of the word cock in a lunchtime radio show.
That's all right. That's what it says.
Fine,
Karl.
that's what
He's not going to say it again. He's not. Yeah. Go on.
Imagine this is the news and I'm reading it.
Yeah.
The Broadcasting Standards Commission upheld a complaint against the comedian for coarse sexual innuendo in the programme on London station XFM. The Commission acknowledged that the presenter's remarks were intended to be humorous, but took the view that the amount and detail of the coarse sexual innuendo had exceeded acceptable boundaries for broadcast, said the BSC in a statement. The complaint objected to a section in the comic's Saturday afternoon show when he discussed the different meanings of the word cock. Gervais wondered aloud whether the word was acceptable when discussing birds, but not the male sexual organ. A BSC spokesman said the comedian went on about it for nearly 5 minutes. XFM, a self-styled alternative radio station, said in its defence that its remit was to provide cutting-edge programmes for a youth audience. The station said the programme's brief was to include elements of alternative comedy within certain shows that would not fit within a more mainstream radio station format. In this particular show, it was not the presenter's intention to shock when they took a humorous look at how the English language could be construed in different ways within different contexts. Gervais, whose big break was on Channel 4's 11 o'clock show, has shot to household status through the portrayal of David Brent, the middle manager from hell in BBC Two's cult show The Office.
Just in case you didn't know who I was talking about.
Yeah, he's a household name, but they just thought
you might not have heard of him, but he is a household name. Now, that's good. That's good reporting, and they're quite right about it. And just to remind people, it was when Steve said the only bird that hasn't got a penis is the swan, and I went on about the male bird being called the cock, but I couldn't use that to mean, and you know, it was childish, you know. But what annoys me is, I'm sure I've heard things on like Radio 1 like that. Oh, what's what's her name in the morning, Sarah
Cox.
Yeah, and as there's a DJ like Karl.
Cox.
Yeah, so you got Karl. What's the matter? I'm just saying.
You're just saying
there's a pair of DJs on,
Yeah, but
you know.
we've done this.
And
What are you talking about? We're just talking
there's
about
names. They're just saying the names. Now, I love cocks in the morning.
You're a big fan. You're a big fan of Cox.
And at night. What's the matter with you?
Come
Play a
on,
record,
Karl. All right, we've taken it. We've been. Have you actually been rapped over this?
No, I don't know what
Have you
that
had a
means.
dressing down?
No.
When did that happen?
I don't know.
I was meant to tell you, and I never got round to it.
Okay. Thanks then.
So don't do it again.
Pinky Afro on XFM 104.9.
Oh,
Could I just add that in case
Yes.
you don't know what you know the
What the
frequency is?
Yeah, exactly.
Why do they say that? Are they not so you know what you listen to? So you go, I'll tell you what, I like that radio station.
Yeah.
And it was XFM 104.9.
Exactly.
I'll listen to that again.
You'll listen to that. You can retune.
Yeah.
I was wondering actually, Rick.
Stay locked up this end of the dial.
True enough. I was wondering because you know, obviously we're still trying to campaign to get Karl into the air.
Yeah.
With the balloon enterprise, and obviously the work's been done on that. Don't fret, don't worry. A lot of people are asking for an update, but you know we'll obviously let you know when it's all going to take place.
Yeah.
But I was wondering
These
whether
things take time.
Exactly, but I was wondering whether we should also have another kind of campaign, some kind of campaign, maybe one that could involve you, Rick. Because I'm particularly concerned, Karl. I don't know how familiar you are with this, with Ricky's eating habits. Because he eats so unhealthily.
No,
that it scares me. No, come on, Rick, don't give me
I'm
this.
getting better now.
No, you're not getting better.
I have a smoothie every day.
Yeah, but I've told you before, that's largely sugar.
No, a homemade one.
I don't care, Rick. That's not enough. It can't counteract, right? This is Ricky Gervais's idea of healthy eating, right? We'll be in the canteen at the BBC. He'll go, I'm going to eat healthy today, which means he'll have 2 slices of pizza instead of pizza and chips. That's basically that's his theory, right? And it's like I don't know what because he can't eat anything which basically doesn't sting the roof of his mouth with flavour. So like for instance, he's always got headaches. He's always got a headache. Okay, that's because you just drink coffee and Coke. You never drink water. Your body is dehydrated. And I said drink a glass of water. No, boring. It's boring, water. I don't know if we were in the desert stranded. Boring. It's boring, Steve. I'll wait till the next cafe. Right, and sometimes he'll go like, "Oh, I'll have a salad, right? I'll get like a feta cheese salad, right? And he'll eat the little bits of feta cheese, leave the salad. Then he goes downstairs and goes, "I'm still hungry. It didn't fill me up, that salad." I go, "No, what didn't fill you up was the 200 milligrams of goat cheese that you ate. That's what didn't fill you up." So this should be a campaign. I don't know whether I can observe it. People could sponsor him, something. Just eat healthy. We could do it for some kind of big charity.
Fruit.
I don't think the fruit's the issue.
Okay, if you mash it, I'll eat anything.
Rick, I'm not saying that you don't eat a certain amount of fruit. I'm saying that everything else you eat is unbalanced and it's just rich with fat and it's awful. Yeah. It's sausages, it's beans. You're such a working class scum, aren't you? It's the smell of chip fat is all around him. Do you know what I mean? It's like even when you can't smell it, you know it's there, seeping through his veins. I imagine when he was growing up, it was just chip fat in the house, just a big.
It was
all constantly boiling.
There was always chips on with everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, all fried.
Do you want Weetabix in the morning? Deep fat fry that. It's such scum, and now it's like, oh yeah, my palate, I can't eat anything. It's got no flavour. Everything's got to have cheese on it. Sprinkling Parmesan cheese, more Parmesan cheese. And if someone doesn't give him like a whole tub of Parmesan cheese when you're in a restaurant, even though he's ordered like a lobster or whatever, he's like he sort of has a go at the waiter, or like not to their face. Obviously, he's too much of a coward, but he'll say to me like, "He should have left the cheese. He's so cheap with the cheese. They don't give me any cheese. He just gave you 3 bucketfuls of cheese. More cheese here." It's pathetic. So I just think we should do something because I'm panicked. I'm worried. I'm worried.
I started working out a little bit. I sort of work out twice or 3 times.
I don't think that's going to counteract it, Rick.
And I drink water through the night when I wake up. I'm dehydrated
from all the booze you've just drunk.
Yeah, and I have a smoothie in the morning, don't I?
You know what my views are on the smoothies. I don't think that's counteracting.
You're anti-smoothie. You're anti-smoothie.
Because I don't think it's counteracting all the other
You have got a problem. There's nothing wrong with the smoothie.
Right, fine. Okay, well, if you're happy to carry on as you are.
Yeah, go on.
Badly Drawn Boy obviously has done the soundtrack to this new film about a boy, which has got Hugh Grant in it, and obviously this current single, what's it called? The current one that's out, Silent Side. That's currently obviously that's being played on XFM. But this is another track from this album, which is the soundtrack. Lots of kind of little bits of filler, bits of musical instrumental stuff, but all of it's very nice. This is a cracking tune, track 3, Something to Talk About.
Lovely.
Yeah, good tune that, I think. Sarah and Lauren have emailed in. They said they wanted something from Elliott Smith or maybe Jimmy Webb. That's actually produced by the producer of Elliott Smith. And
is that I haven't brought any Jimmy Webb into now.
No, we'll maybe play that next time.
I'll play some next week.
That's Badly Drawn Boy, though, from the soundtrack to this film about a boy, and that's called Something to Talk About.
We've only got the stuff in the library. Do they want Four Non-Blondes? Because we've got that in the library, haven't we?
The best of Tony Basil.
And we've got just about every song that In Excess ever recorded.
Exactly. We don't play enough In Excess, do
I
we?
don't think we do we?
No,
I can't believe it. XFM 104.9 coming up. White Van Man Karl.
White Van Karl. I was obviously out with Karl last night. A lot of people don't realise this because we went out. There's what's the name of that evening?
Marketplace, extracurricular.
Yeah, various XFM DJs go down there and just play an eclectic mix.
Just spin some tunes off.
Absolutely, and I'm thinking of doing it in a couple of weeks, Rick. And obviously, my turntablist skills now are pretty something to behold. I tell you this, I did an amazing mix the other day with my friend Dan. We spent 2.5 hours on it. This is how we spend our evenings now. 2.5 hours mixing from a trip hop sort of hip hop style beat into Arthur's theme by Christopher Cross.
Great.
When you get caught between the moon and New York
Written by
City.
4 people.
4 people.
Bacharach, Carol Bayer-Sager, Christopher Cross, and a 4th one.
Absolutely.
Phone in.
If you know that.
Maybe we should. But who knows the 4th person credited on that tune?
If only there were a prize.
700 800 1, 2, 3, 4. Also, someone else to phone in. Right? I saw an advert. Right, there's adverts for toys. I think it must be. Is it because it's Easter holidays or something?
Right.
And I was watching today, and there's one of those Transformer type things, and it goes in its shield. It strikes and then goes into its shield, and it goes into a little pod. And I'm sure it was called a Bolock.
Right.
Now I must have misheard it. There's no way you can call a little kid's toy a Bolock. So, can you phone in? I'm quite willing to be wrong. It'd be very disappointing, but are people making little Bolocks for kids? No.
Yeah.
Oh wait, 700 800 1234. And what was the other question?
Was there the other question was who
was
was
the
the
fourth
fourth
person
person
who
that wrote Arthur's theme?
Yeah.
When you get caught between the moon and New York City.
It's crazy,
fantastic.
but it's true. Yeah.
The only thing you can do is fall in love, Karl. But I was out with Karl last night, obviously party animal. You know, he's hanging out with some of my friends. You enjoyed yourself, didn't you, Karl?
That's all right.
But you were a bit worried about Jennifer Lopez, weren't you?
Yeah.
What was the concern?
I don't really know what's going on in the pop world.
You're joking.
No.
Go on.
And I was here in the toilets, right? And I heard it playing out on the speaker, and I heard the DJ go, "There you go, that's Left Eye Lopez there."
That's not.
And I thought it's Jennifer Lopez.
No, it's the little one.
She had some sort of eye injury.
That was
You thought he was breaking the news of
Yeah.
Jennifer Lopez losing an eye
I
by
thought-
calling her Left Eye Lopez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's genius.
Don't worry, we put him right. It's okay. He
Yeah.
slept easy.
Yeah.
But you were worried for a while, weren't you? You were anxious for a while.
I had no idea, and the thing is, I heard that on like Thursday, so for like 3 days I've been thinking,
You've been panicking?
why she called that? Because she changed her name before, hadn't she, to J-Lo or something.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know,
Yeah.
has she got some people after her? Does she owe someone money? Keep
Yeah.
changing her name.
That was What by Gabrielle and Rise.
Anyway, more music, Rick?
Oh, I'd love to.
So
Yeah,
you
what have you got lined up there, Karl?
Beta band.
Oh yeah,
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 yeah. Sweet.
Dynamite.
Sure.
Respect,
Yeah,
total
yeah,
respect for that.
yeah,
Massive
yeah,
respect.
yeah.
No, Jew, yeah, no, absolutely. Huge respect.
Blackbird Night Cycle Club then. Spread your love on XFM 104.9. I'm loving this, Steve. It's a lovely day.
Yep.
We're
playing some great music.
We're playing some great tunes, aren't we?
Absolutely.
We're having some great chat.
Yeah.
So let's carry on. Let's continue.
Well, absolutely. Well, obviously, Karl was out with me last night, and he saw that I'm, he knows I'm a ladies' man, and that was obvious. Karl, you could see the vibe around me, couldn't you? When the chicks were talking to me. And just remembered recently, actually, I was on a train coming back from hometown Bristol, and I was on the train, and this girl walks on, good-looking girl. I thought, hey up, largely empty carriage. I'm thinking, my luck's in. Because I take every opportunity, Karl. That's the thing about me. I don't choose. She was a good-looking girl. She sat down. I thought she sat down right near me. I thought, brilliant. As this guy comes up behind her and says, I think it's probably a boyfriend or something. Sits down next to her, and I listen in on the conversation, obviously, because I'm pretending to read. It was very clever. I read the same page for hours. So I was pretending to listen. I was listening but pretending to read. And I realised that it's not her boyfriend or anything. It's just some guy she's met on the platform. And I'm thinking, brilliant, if she's the kind of girl who's just going to start talking to someone, on a platform, on a train, brilliant, I'm going to be in here. Because he was only going one stop. So I'm thinking, what's the worst that can happen? He'll nick off, I'll get chatting to her, and who knows, I could join the... is there a train equivalent?
Foot High Club.
The Foot High Club, brilliant. And so I'm excited, I'm listening in. And it turns out that they're both kind of graduates who've just finished university, or they're coming to their finals or something. And they're chatting away, and he's making a couple of witticisms, and she's kind of tittering at his jokes. I'm thinking, well, I'll tell you this, if she's laughing at this kind of material, I am going to blow her away, with my kind of anecdotes and wry observations,
Yeah.
It was weak stuff, I got to be honest.
Really?
He was coming out with nothing. He was running on empty, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And she was loving it. So I'm thinking, brilliant, I'm going to be right in here. And then they get moving on to higher brow things, and I think she was going to study kind of Marxism or something like that, or communism, something. And she was asking him, as by way of conversation, she was asking him what he knew about Marxism, And he was fumbling for his vague knowledge of it that he had in his life. And I'm just sat there thinking, come on, love, in any given capitalist environment, the proletariat will revolt against their oppression by the bourgeoisie, and after a brief period of socialist rule, emerges a classist society governed by community cooperation.
Well, if that sort of talk wouldn't get a woman hot, I don't
Come
know.
on,
I don't
Rick.
know what you'd use then.
If Marx and Engels is not going to get a woman sweaty down below,
I
then
know.
nothing is.
No.
Then my name is
You're
not
just
Steve
biding
Merchant.
your time, yeah?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm just going to go in for the kill any minute.
Yeah.
So anyway, it comes to his stop, right? He gets up. I'm thinking, this is a piece of cake. And he gets off, and off he goes. He walks off. And I'm thinking, brilliant. And I thought, I'll wait till the train's pulled away. I'm not going to leap in straight away.
No.
And he comes back along the carriage. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute. He goes, listen, do you mind if I give you my email address?
Oh.
Right? And if you want to get in touch, email me. I'm thinking, come on, you loser. Get off now. Save your face, please,
Yeah.
before it's too embarrassing. She accepts the email address because she obviously doesn't want to hurt his feelings, whatever. I'm thinking, fair enough. She's a good woman. I'm liking her. I'm loving her. I'm thinking, that's my kind of girl. So anyway, he gets off. I'm sat there, the train pulls away. I'm thinking, I'll wait a few minutes, I'll just, give it some time. Her phone rings. It's her friend on the phone. And she starts saying, and I was listening in, and she was going, just met a guy on the train. I'm thinking, yeah, that's true enough. She goes, yeah, he was a good-looking guy. I thought, you're having a laugh, love. To be honest. Because I was looking at him, and she said to her friend, he looks a bit like tennis player Boris Becker. I thought, you should be so lucky frankly, because I saw him. He had awful facial hair, if that's what makes him look like Boris Becker. Terrible little goatee beard. It was laughable. I thought I don't know. And then she goes to think, and she's like, yeah, I met him, we got chatting and stuff, you know. And she was going, it's not often that you meet someone, you know, generally in life, who's, you know, kind of thoughtful and intelligent and funny. I thought to myself, I'm not even going to waste my time with you, love. Frankly, if that's what you thought of him.
You just walked away.
And I'll be honest with you, I didn't even bother talking to her.
No, you were just
didn't even
above
waste
it.
my time with her.
If she thinks that bloke is not
If
only
she thought
great
he was
looking,
funny,
but
great
funny
looking-
and intelligent, and she got on well, and he was polite, and it was a chance meeting, and he thought, and she thought that you were like a freaky looking dog who didn't even have the nerve to
If
speak.
that is what
if that's
she
what
was
she
thinking,
thinks,
then
she's
I don't
not-
want to know her.
I couldn't. You walked away, and good luck to you.
And I have my dignity intact.
Yes, and she's nothing. Travis, Flowers in the Window on XFM 104.9. Well, coming to that time when we do White Van Man.
Absolutely, with producer Karl.
And Carl's also going to be telling us his slant on Fables, on Aesop.
Absolutely.
I was out with Karl. I know I shouldn't be.
Yeah, well, I broke the rule as well.
I
last
know.
night.
Well, I was out with him the night before, I think, and we were just chatting. And as you know, we're going to Edinburgh for a week.
Yeah, that's all three of us.
That's all three of us. Yeah.
There wasn't. I just wondered for a minute if there was some arrangement you two had made, like next weekend, just popping out there seeing the sights.
Yeah. No, we're going to do a week's broadcasting from the Edinburgh Festival, and you know, and Carl's going, "I bet you lie in, don't you?" and all this. And I was going, "Well, yeah." He's going, "Well, he wants to be up at 9:30 and out looking at the sights." You know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway, and I said, "Have you ever had haggis?" And he went, "It's black pudding in it." I went, "No, it's mince." He went, "I like mince." I went, "Yeah, but wait, it's mince in a sheep's stomach, right?" And he went, "What, they force feed a sheep, then kill it?" Imagine that, Karl.
It makes sense, though, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't make sense. They force feed a sheep mince, and then kill it till its stomach's nice and full, and they go, "Oh, this one's full, kill it, before it starts digesting it." Of course they don't. It's a membrane they've... And the other one, he was talking about, like, he likes Richmond Park. He goes, "I like to see all the deers." I went, "It's deers, plural, you don't need to say deers." I try and educate whenever I can.
What's that
I
one?
said,
The deer is already plural.
yeah, deer is plural. I said, you know, like sheep or fish. So you can say fishes. And we were laughing at us. I said, "Do you know the plural of mongoose?" Because a lot of people would think it would be mongoose. It's not. It's mongooses. Do you know what Karl said?
Plural of mongoose.
Mongoose, yes.
Plural of
It's,
mongoose.
it's worth a competition. No, it's not. No.
No, go on.
Karl, what did you think the plural of mongoose was?
Mongs.
Play a record after this White Van Man.
Do you want to play,
Oh, let's play a bit of Dylan. Yeah. This is a beautiful track. It's Just Like a Woman. Well, I think that's a beautiful record. It's by Bob Dylan, and it's Just Like a Woman. And Karl went. He's got his headphones on, so he's speaking a bit loud.
The harmonica's playing.
In a whiny mank accent when the harmonica's going. "That's an annoying sound, that, isn't it?" God.
Oh, bless him.
Bob Dylan there. An annoying sound there.
did you hear about...
The annoying sound of Bob Dylan. That could be a new album.
Yeah, yeah.
Just that sort of sound always reminds me of a one-man band.
Yeah.
Have you heard the story about Leo Sayer with his song One Man Band?
No?
Years ago. What year was... Oh, God.
I'm in the mood for dancing.
What's the song that he did about a one-man
I'm
band?
a one-man band, it was called.
Right, yeah.
Funnily enough. Go
Yeah,
on.
he did that, one-man band, and he was playing it at the Dominion Theatre.
Yeah.
And apparently, whenever he sort of sang this song, he got the audience involved. And the line in it was, "I'm a one-man band."
Nobody knows or understands. Is there anybody there can lend me a hand
Right.
to my one-man
He
band?
said that, and what he used to do, he used to reach out
Oh, yeah.
and grab people's hands, and then he'd walk down the middle. Anyway, he said, "Won't anyone lend me a hand?" He stuck his hand out, grabbed like a hand, and was walking down. Everyone looked horrified, and some woman who had like a plastic hand, it had come off. And he was walking down the middle of like Dominion Theatre with his plastic hand in his hand. And he said, "Oh, that's a moment I won't forget."
He knows how to tell a story, Leo Sayer.
Right, well, it's time for White Van Man, which is where we ask Karl the questions that the Sun asks someone else.
Exactly.
It's an article in there where they ask them, typical man on the street, the big questions of the day, gives them their platform to the nation, and we think this is just too good to let out, because we only care about one person's opinion in the country now.
That's true enough. He's the K-man, and there he is.
There he is, right.
Karl, your thoughts, please, on Kylie Minogue slagging off Britney Spears for ignoring her fans at her premiere. Are you aware of that story?
No.
She got booed at her premiere of her new film, Britney, because she'd left her fans waiting for like an hour. Some of them had travelled up from Bristol, other parts of the country.
3,000 of them.
Loads of them screaming for her. She just went straight into the theatre an hour late, just gave them a quick wave and straight in. Didn't even bother to shake their hands, sign any autographs. So they were booing.
What do you think of that, Karl?
And Kylie's obviously said that was actually outrageous, and you should treat your fans with respect. What do you make of it?
So she did wave, then.
Yeah, but literally as she was walking into the theatre.
Was it raining?
No, I don't think it was.
He's like a defence lawyer, but who hasn't really read the brief.
He's just winging it.
Judge's first joke, was it raining? No? Oh, shit, I was relying on that. It wasn't raining.
Was she running late for the start of the film?
Yes, but that's her own fault. I mean, the people are inside. They're not going to start the film without her. It's Britney Spears.
Yeah.
She could take some time out. When Tom Cruise came here, he spent like an hour and a half shaking people's hands, talking to people on their mobile phones, all sorts. That's Tom Cruise. He's a bigger name than Britney.
I know, but
He's a smaller person, but he's a bigger name.
What do people want from people? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
an autograph, things like that, a photo.
This one's going nowhere, Steve. Is there another one?
Fair enough.
It's not bad. If she had more time, she might have done it. I bet she would have done it on another day. I mean, I'm not feeling too good today.
But you're going to still take time out to sign people's autographs, surely, when you leave the building.
Yeah, there's always a bit of a crowd, isn't there?
Next.
Go on.
What do you make of New York's ex-police chief saying we need more bobbies on the beat? He's come over here. He's the guy that sorted out crime in New York City. He's come over. He said you're going all over the place here. You need more bobbies on the beat, more policemen, a visible police presence.
There was something last week about some copper in London who was sat on a bench, and he was asleep or something.
Oh, yeah.
And people were like outraged because he should be looking after England's people, not nodding off on a park bench, which is a bit daft because
they were shouting he should be looking after England's people. Was this the 16th century you went back to? What do you mean he should be looking after England's people?
Wherever he was, if he was in like a park somewhere, they were really annoyed because he was asleep. But
sure, he was probably undercover.
No, but the thing is, if there would have been any trouble, I'm sure he would have woke up.
Yeah.
If there was any if someone needed help and he screamed, he would have woke up. So I don't know why they were having a go at him.
Yeah, and he might not have been there at all. So it was he probably have his radio turned on, didn't he?
Yeah,
listening to Heart.
So you're not concerned then that there's not the crimes going up?
I think there's enough. I see quite a lot of them whizzing around.
Okay, you're happy then.
Yeah.
As long as you're happy, Karl.
So you don't think it's too much crime?
No.
Just the right amount of crime.
Yeah.
What about the fact that new gambling laws give Blackpool the green light to become a British Las Vegas? What do you make of that? Are you a gambler?
Little bit when I go on holiday, like going in the arcade and having a little flutter.
Sure.
What's your favourite?
I have a go on the fruit machines.
Yeah.
There's a good one called The Simpsons.
Right.
Is that your favourite?
Yeah, it's quite good.
Is that a tie-in with the TV show The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Okay.
Will he make Blackpool the next Vegas? I don't think so.
No, nor
Can't
do
see
I.
it happening.
No. You been to Blackpool?
Yeah.
What was it?
It's a bit rank.
Is it?
It is a bit rough.
Okay.
Needs a lot of work doing on it.
Yeah.
No, that won't happen.
Okay.
And you're not worried about this encouraging gambling, generally? Gambling's not a vice you're concerned about?
If you're a gambler, you're a gambler. Do you know what I mean? If Blackpool isn't done up, they'll go somewhere else to have a flutter.
Sure.
So it's not going to make any difference.
Okay.
No.
Okay, jolly good. What do you make of the So Solid crew's Ashley Walters being jailed for 18 months? Obviously not a very good example to his young fans.
He should have got more.
Do you think?
I had a dream about him the other night.
Go on.
About the group itself.
Okay.
I had a dream that...
Were they all there? Because there's a
Yeah,
lot of them.
all of
I
them.
couldn't remember all their faces. To feature in a dream.
I had a T-shirt on.
He had etc.
Exactly,
He had
yeah.
two of them, then he had etc. Yeah.
I had a T-shirt on.
You had a T-shirt on?
Yeah, and it said on my T-shirt, "So Solid Poo." And I was walking down the street, and they came towards me. And they were
Wow.
just about to beat me
That's
off.
a great dream.
That's amazing.
That's an amazing
I love that.
dream.
We've
For
all
a
had
30-year-old.
We've all had that anxiety dream. Oh my goodness! What if I meet
no.
the So Solid crew and I'm
Oh,
wearing a
God.
T-shirt that slags them off?
Oh, I don't believe it. Yeah, yeah.
So what happened? Did you get beaten up in the
It was
dream?
one of them where I woke up. Do you know I've been telling you that I keep getting them things where you feel like you're falling?
Oh, yeah.
It was the same sort of thing. It's
You
like,
know I'm not a real psychiatrist, don't you? You should, you know
No,
what I
but
mean?
you do know a lot about a lot.
Yeah, I do. Thanks very much.
And, you know, if I'm at home talking to Suzanne about something and I don't know the answer, I think, right, I'll ask Ricky that one,
Yeah.
see him.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But you know that, I think you might have mentioned before that apparently if you die in a dream, it means that you're dying in real life.
Yeah, well, that's it, if you don't...
But apparently if you get beaten up by the So Solid crew in a dream, it means you're being beaten up by them in real life.
Yeah, that is true.
So you probably woke
a
up
lot
and
of people have
pummeling
been
your
joking.
face.
Yeah.
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
So, yeah, lock him up for longer.
Okay. Finally, what do you make of Halle Berry becoming the first black woman to win the Best Actress Oscar? Did you see her speech?
Got on my nerves.
Did it?
I mean, you know, it's good that she won. You know, it's nice for anyone to win an award.
Yeah.
But she did go on a bit. And, you know, I've been in that same sort of position.
What? Claiming an Oscar?
Well, I got, what they used to do at school is,
Okay.
if you did a full month without being off, you got a gold certificate.
Okay.
And I did a month once without having a day off. And
Sure.
I went up, and I didn't make a fuss.
You didn't start crying.
Can't play a record, mate.
Well done, though. Were you the first kid in your school to do that?
I don't think anyone else got the certificate. It was only because I was never in. They tried to encourage me to come in.
It was just for you. They mounted an entire ceremony just to
Karl
encourage
Award.
you.
Wise words there from Bella Sebastian on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant. Hi, Steve.
Well, I mean, it is indeed wise words, Rick. I'm worried that people are going to get out of the office now and into the sunshine, not be listening to the show.
There's always the transistor radio.
That's true enough. If you're thinking of heading down to the park, take
well,
one along.
it is time.
Keep it low, though. Don't want to irritate other people.
No, I know, yeah. And if you do want to try him, spit on them, it's better.
Exactly.
And kick them and throw little rocks.
Exactly.
With me, Karl, and Pilkington. We're into this way into the second month of the education of Karl. As you know, Karl got 1 GCSE in history and E, and we've been cramming, haven't we?
Oh,
And,
Rick, before you mention that, can
go
I
on.
just say something? Obviously, we always do this thing with the Sun, White Van Man, where we read this thing out from the Sun and query Karl. And I was out with some friends last night, and my friend Dan always listens to the show, and he said, Karl, you know, I love the bit when you answer the questions in the Sun. Why do you ever know what the questions are before they're asked, or is that your first answer? And Karl said, no, that is it. They don't let me see what the questions are first. They don't show them to me, and I always get really anxious and get really paranoid. And I was just wondering, have you seen the error there, Karl? Have you seen the mistake you've been making? Right?
What
You're
do you think
worried that you didn't get the questions beforehand, right?
What? How could you
maybe combat that? Do you think?
How could you combat that if you're really nervous? You know, coming
Maybe
out
you
to
wanted
like-
to sort of have some views or ideas
Well,
beforehand.
it's your error, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's your show. If you want to like take a chance with me,
No.
So
His
that's
point
the
is
point.
this: that if you're really worried about it, how could you get hold of those questions in advance? Is there any way you could get hold of those questions in advance?
yeah, but is it always in today's? Is it always in Saturdays?
Yes,
So they don't do that every day of the week.
they do, but I always take it from this Saturdays.
Right. Well, yeah, I could, but that would cost me money. I'm not on enough as it is
Sure.
working here on a Saturday.
Okay,
How much is the Sun?
30p.
Yeah. Well.
You're not made of money. I understand.
Yeah.
Actually, it's 40p on a Saturday. I don't know what I was thinking.
Well, you were studying Aesop's Fables, weren't you, this week? Now, I'm going to be very liberal here and let you talk about it. It's not a test. I'm not, hey man, just like chill out. I'm not this like rigid sort of, box in society. Just tell us your views. Just tell us your vibe on Aesop. Tell us something. What have you learnt from his Fables?
He made a bit of money out of something that's quite simple.
I don't know if he did make any money out of it. I mean, I think it was published like thousands of years after his death, but go on.
Yeah, they're just little stories. I mean, enjoyed them.
Yeah.
Didn't learn anything from them.
Or did you see? Because it's teaching through sort of like metaphor and analogy, and maybe it all seeps in and it's all subliminal, and maybe in a way your
but it's
subconscious is
silly.
teaching you.
No, it's silly, Rick. It is silly.
If the stories were done in like a real way, that there's like a man and a woman, and it's a little story that something happened to them in life, then you learn something. But it's all about, a gorilla and a fox are walking through the woods. How often does that happen?
Sure. So you're saying if it was more like
If it was more true to life.
If it was
People
more
that
like,
you knew, maybe,
if it was
maybe
more
mates
like
of yours.
real
Yeah.
stories, like a kid on his grifter and a magpie pecking at his head, or two frog boys with webbed hands. I mean, if it was real stories from real life,
that people could believe
yeah,
actually
that
happened.
Maybe it would teach us something.
But why not do that? Like, take a real situation. Say, like the So Solid Crew guy
Yes.
going down for carrying a gun. Use that in some way. Do you know what I mean?
As a warning, maybe about carrying guns.
What about something like if you carry guns and that is illegal, you could have some sort of punishment.
Yeah, that's
Good.
good.
So
phrase.
that's what you
It doesn't
mean,
bother
yeah.
you then that the fact that these fables have been used for many, many generations to educate maybe young children or even older people. The fact that they've served a brilliant function and they've become classics, that doesn't bother you? You've seen through them?
Well, they don't always work.
Okay.
When I was out with Rick the other day, he brought one up.
Oh, I told him the one about the two mice, the industrious mouse who, throughout the summer, he would be storing berries, nuts and berries, and he'd be storing it, and the other ones would just be eating off the trees and running around and having a laugh. And they go, well, you're going to become hungry. And he'd go, oh, I'll worry about that when it comes to it. And they'd do that, and he'd be storing his nuts and berries, and autumn came, and the mouse was still playing and not doing anything. And then winter came, and the silly mouse was like shivering, and he went and knocked on the mouse's door and went, I'm freezing and I'm starving. And the clever mouse said, well, I told you, didn't I? You know, you should have been storing your nuts through winter like I did. Come in and share mine. You know. And, what did you say, Karl?
Well, and the moral of that is whatever.
Yeah, you know, sort of, you know, just be careful. But my thing is that it's not very good, because the moral of that is do what you want, and there's always a do-gooder, a share there.
Yeah, that's right, sure.
Yeah.
But the way I think, which is more sort of 2002, the ending should have been, you know, the guy with all the berries should have been no, I'll be all right come the winter. I've got loads of food. I'll be safe. But then, as he's going into his little hut at the beginning of the winter, some sort of bus or something comes and kills him,
Right.
and it's like,
You should have partied hard because you
yeah,
might die.
Yeah, enjoy life whilst you've got it.
Yeah. Okay, and if winter comes, just starve to death.
Well, you know, worry about tomorrow.
Okay. Okay.
That's my
See, I'm
little
wondering if
fable.
there's a new book here. I really am wondering if there's a Karl's Fables.
He's been coming out with some all week. He keeps going, well, that's a fable, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's your favourite fable in there? Have you learned anything from this book? You know, is there one fable you liked?
Yeah, I mean,
What
they're
did
all
you like?
they're all alright.
What did you like?
You've thrown it on me now, there.
Didn't you like one about a crab, you said?
No, that was the one about messing about on a cliff edge or something. Don't
What-
mess about on a cliff edge. Well,
What was that?
I don't know. There's not many around here, so I didn't take much interest in that one. You know what I mean?
God.
Um,
I'm doing my best here. I'm
You don't
dying.
remember
yeah,
any of
here's
them?
one.
Go
Yeah,
on.
here's one that was quite nice. There was a belly, you know, like your stomach.
Yeah.
And it's this belly on a pair of legs, and the legs was saying, "I'm more important than you because I carry you around," and the belly said, "Yeah, but you know, if it weren't for me holding all this food, you wouldn't have the energy to walk around."
Yeah.
And that means, like, you know, rather than working on your own, it's best to work in a team.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the one similar to that I was taught when I was little was a vision of heaven and hell, and it went down to hell, and in hell, right, there was these people had like 20-foot long chopsticks,
yeah.
and they were getting their food, and they couldn't get the chopsticks into the food and get it round to their mouth because they were just too long.
Right.
Right, that was hell. And in heaven, they had exactly the same thing, but they were feeding each other.
What? Right.
You don't like Chinese food? Is that what you're thinking? Is that what your concern is, Karl?
No, I'm just.
The one I remember, and I can't remember the ending of it, it's about two nuns in a bath.
Yeah, oh, I know.
I can't remember what it is.
Yeah,
Remember
that's
that
it,
one?
yeah.
Or are they on a bike?
That's two adventures. It's the same nuns, but they
the
go
same
to all
nuns.
sorts of adventures. They're
normally quite erotic adventures.
Well, they are. But there's one where they're driving down a cobbled street, I remember.
Oh, go on.
And then there's the other. Then, of course, they get. Whalebones on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Steve Merchant.
Hello
and
there.
Karl. Well, Karl, I really don't think you got your teeth into the Fables. Really, I don't think you.
There wasn't anything to learn. I read a couple, thought, yeah, that's all right, and put it down again. There wasn't anything to learn. It was all stuff I knew already, but made up with nice little foxes and bears and stuff. So
Yeah. But that one about like that one we spoke about like when the hares are going, we should share all our food, and the lion said that's a good argument, but it hasn't got the teeth and claws that we've got. That's lovely because it's sort of like, you know, that's an indictment on sort of, you know, you could say it's an anti-equality almost. You know, you could get really sort of deep into that. You know what I mean? You could. No.
Big
All right.
philosophical ideas in a nutshell. Not interesting.
no, not really.
Okay.
Okay then, well, you're going to hate this then. I've brought in the concise Oxford Dictionary of Quotations. Now, just look at some of your favourites. I'd suggest going to straight to things like Wilde or Newton or Churchill or
You're a big fan of
Keats.
Churchill?
Yeah.
like
Oh
he's
well,
alright.
he's the boy. Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's go through that old Kramer. Blah, blah. Newton. Right. Right. Here's a famous one. Okay. This is Isaac Newton. If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants.
Do you like that one?
So there's a meaning in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he hasn't actually stood on the shoulders of giants.
So remember, he's an amazing inventor and mathematician, and he discovered the incredible laws of the universe. And he's saying, yeah, okay.
If you want a good view, move into a multi-story.
He's saying, right? He's saying, if I have seen further than the people, and he's being modest here, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of giants to get that view.
If it weren't for all the people that have come before him with their great insight and knowledge, he wouldn't have seen what he's seen.
He's taken his learnings, and those people have given
Why
him
just
a...
say that? Instead of making up... That's what I've got a problem with. People don't say what they mean.
Poetry, art, and...
In
yeah.
life, though, people never say what they actually mean. And, there's loads of books on it. I don't know.
But the point is that he's just summarised quite a tricky idea beautifully.
It's
in a
beautiful. That gets into you much deeper than just the words, than just the literal words. You know what I mean?
One of my favourites is from an American novelist, and the quote is talking about the subject of fame and being famous.
Yeah.
Fame is a mask that eats into the face. Don't you think that's amazing?
Meaning...
Well, meaning that fame is something that is artificial, that you wear initially, you become famous, but it's ethereal, it's nothing, it's intangible, it's just an artifice. But if you stay famous long enough, you begin to think that mask you're wearing is really your real face, so that you begin to, think that you are more than you perhaps are. Do you see what I mean? In the way that fame and power can corrupt.
I know who said that.
It's an American novelist, I forget his name.
Yeah, it's alright. Yeah, there's something in that.
Yeah.
Okay. Pick another one, right?
Yeah, let's have a look. Bernard Shaw, he's no slouch.
I think maybe when you take this book of quotations home, Karl, you should maybe just draw up maybe a list of 3 or 4 of your
Yeah,
favourites
look,
and tell them next week.
I want you Shaw, Wilde. I look at Shakespeare as well. He's...
Are you a fan of Shakespeare?
No.
Go on, what's your problem with it?
Just the way they speak.
Sure.
I can't follow it.
Yeah.
Do you like West Side Story?
It's really old as well. I can't relate to it. It's like years and years ago, isn't it? That's why I like Churchill. Because
1940s.
yeah.
Look at this. This is Shaw. Okay. There are 2 tragedies in life. One is not to get your heart's desire. The other is to get it.
Again, how would you see that in your little?
Well, that's one homework then. I'll mark that. That's your homework. You've got to work that out. You've got to tell me what you think of it.
Say again?
Don't ask Suzanne. It's there. Right. There are 2 tragedies in life. One is not to get your heart's desire. The other is to get it. Okay? Take that home with you. And we'll be hearing Karl come up with some amazing quotations next week.
Yeah, pick out your favourites.
Now I'd like to play a song for the lovers while he's thinking.
No, I don't think we've got the lovers lined up.
Oh, what have we got?
Bit of hip-hop. It's hip-hop hooray.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, everyone's a big fan. I played something from this last week. It's this new album from Nerd, In Search Of. It's been re-recorded by the lads, I don't know why. And anyway, it's particularly good. We played last week, Things Are Getting Better. This is the one we have played with in the past, actually. Bobby James.
Doves, there goes the fear on XFM 104.9. Well, just read that book anyway. Can I just say, this is one of a beautiful. It's Keats, right? What do you think of this? A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness.
See, this is just like how it was at school now. The last couple of weeks I've been quite interested in what you've been giving me. Now it's really like...
Okay.
I really don't care.
Now what about this? Now
No, I'm not
I did
interested.
philosophy, and philosophy is obviously the quest for knowledge. And it's look. Listen to this though. This is what Keats came out with. Philosophy will clip an angel's wings. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
Don't be constrained by what's dream a little. You know what I mean? Just go beyond. I don't agree with it, but it's a lovely bit of poetry.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're going to read that for me, are you, Karl? Yeah.
Just pick out 5 of your favourites.
Yeah.
The ones that mean something to you.
And then next week I'll bring in pictures of animals.
Brilliant.
Okay.
We'll do it.
Okay, and some sweets.
Rick, I've had a word with some of the top brass here. Or they had a word with me in the corridor. If you remember when
Did
we
they say
started...
who are you?
Pretty much, yeah. Oi, 4 eyes.
Yeah.
And no, they said they were saying that, obviously enjoy the show, they love it, and they're just worried though that in the early days when we started the show, remember we were a lot more informative. We used to do the film reviews, there was things like the gig guide and stuff like that,
Sure.
which we've kind of let go by the subtle wayside.
Yeah, they want us to bring that.
Well,
No.
exactly. So I just want
No. The gig guide. I was worried that, funnily enough, the XFM gig guide does not include some of the biggest bands in the world,
Okay, all right.
or some of the best venues. That's what worried me.
Look, Rick,
But-
just do what you're told, right?
Oh,
there's
is it better?
there's the gig guide. It's
Has it
some
got
big,
better?
It's got a
Am
lot
I
of big
gonna be
names on it.
impressed?
You're going to love the gig guide.
I
this
need a
week.
bet if this is going to be pretty
Well,
impressive.
let's play the proper jingle.
Okay. Tonight, if you want to see these two bands in a small venue, get down to the Metro Bar on Oxford Street. Doors are at 8 p.m. and tickets are only £6 to see 10 Benson and Beach Buggy. All
Brilliant.
right. Now, if you missed Long Wave supporting the Strokes at Brixton Academy last night, you can catch them headlining Casino Royale at the Monarch.
Rick, I missed them last night. How much will I be paying for that?
You'll only be paying £5, right? But listen, they're also supported by Shelby and I Remember Nothing.
Brilliant.
Now, people know about the Brixton Academy, but a little-known venue in Brixton is the Windmill. And you're going to see three great bands there tonight. Guapo,
Okay.
Plonkes, and Mechanical Beatles Never Quite Warm. So, Orange Goblin and Grand Magus play the garage. And, Diefenbach and Sudden play the Row Tar Sessions at Notting Hills Arts Club. So that's the gig guide on XFM.
What a load of rubbish. I mean, switch off the jingle. Look at this. We've discussed this before, haven't we? Names for bands that will never be anything.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Please welcome to the stage, Mechanical Beatles, Never Quite Warm. Please welcome to the stage, Plankweth. Please welcome to the stage, Orange Goblin. Oh, goodness me. Look at
Oh
it.
God, Orange Goblin. Orange Goblin.
It's so rubbish.
What's his name? Got a fake town, hasn't he? That one of his supermarket suite. What's his name?
Dale.
Dale Winton.
Yeah.
Supporting REM. I Remember Nothing. Never going to happen. I mean, please. Come on, people.
Hey,
Think.
here's a band that plays big venues. Doesn't make them better, sure. But this is Radiohead. This is Song for the Lovers and Let Down off OK Computer. This is beautiful. See, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Doesn't that move you at all, Karl? Philosophy will clip an angel's wings.
There was an old lady from Ealing.
Who was putting... Radiohead, Let Down off OK Computer. Apparently we missed a gig on that gig guide. Drip Feed are playing the Rock Garden on the 21st of this month.
Excellent.
So the lead singer just called in with that. He also left a quote with me. Apparently Coleridge said of Keats, wasn't it? He's like an archangel slightly damaged.
Rick,
So
I'm worried we're getting a little bit highbrow.
Do you reckon?
Have you got any knob gags you could do quickly? Because I'm just thinking we're switching. There's a lot of people that are going to be turning off. I mean, currently on Capital FM, Chris Tarrant and Dr. Neil Fox together at last. The
At
partnership we've
last,
always
they
wanted.
said it would never happen. Do you know what I'd like to see together? That breakfast DJ, Sarah,
Cox.
and who's the dance? Karl.
That'll be Karl Cox.
Karl, please, why are you getting suddenly saying these rude words? We've been reprimanded
Yeah,
once,
don't
Karl,
say
please.
that, and don't say it so aggressively because it sounds like you're saying Cox aggressively.
Come on, we've been reprimanded.
Yeah.
Alright? Just don't use language like that.
That's
Okay, man?
annoying me.
Come on.
Why is it annoying you?
Because-
We're talking about DJs. That's their
Yeah.
names.
But you try to be clever.
I hardly
You've
think
given
that's
me-
clever.
You've given me a lot.
Yeah, if that's my best attempt at being clever.
I've got rubbish homework this week.
Okay, he's really upset about
really
this.
upset.
He was looking forward to animal fat.
You said you were going to bring in that big book, 500
It's
animals.
I got it off one of those bargain books.
So
I thought
what?
it'd be easy, right? Cause but it's too elementary.
No, but that's more useful than that to me.
But it's things like the tortoise has a shell to protect it.
That's good.
Yeah, but you know,
Because you thought it was there just to be painted on with tippets.
Oh, have you ever peeled a tortoise? They fly. They go about 400 miles an hour. It's to weigh them down because they're the fastest lizards known to man.
Exactly.
Honestly, they run so fast they can go through walls.
Yeah.
And so their shells put on them in the hospital, in the maternity ward, at a very early age, just slow them down. You let a tortoise shell and you won't catch it.
Steve, do you know that turtles can breathe out the bum?
Turtles can breathe out of their bum. I know someone who can talk out of it, but didn't realise that. That
Where'd
is
tell us about that. Tell us about that. How do they do
That's
that?
it. That's all I know. They when they go swimming, they can sort of, if they don't want to stick their head out, they can just
stick their arse out.
Why don't they want to stick their head out?
just if I don't know. Maybe they don't need. They need to be looking for food under the water.
Yeah.
And if they stick their head up to get some air, they might miss something.
Wouldn't it be easier to have an arse that could forage for food? So they could sort of like lounge in the pool like a jacuzzi, and they're looking around going, all right, hello, hiya, and meanwhile its arse is like munching grass.
Yeah, bad
Wouldn't
breath.
that be easier?
Bad breath.
Well,
I wish I understood what that meant.
yeah.
In all this
it's like a
hilarity,
quote, isn't it?
but in all that this hilarity, I'm worried we've forgotten the true meaning of Easter. No, come on, Rick, come on. You're just, you're being frothy and lightweight and a little bit rude, but it's a time for remembering
And chocolate.
that someone did die for our sins.
Yeah.
So can we just
Be ashamed to disappoint him.
can we just think about that and just take a moment just to consider that?
Yeah, can we do that?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You understand the true meaning of Easter? It's not just about eggs and bunnies. You understand it, don't you?
Yeah.
What's your memory of it? What's your understanding of it, Carl?
What do you-
Easter. What's it all about for you?
What do you have to do at school? Do you have to do anything at school?
I think we got a long weekend off.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
What did they call that weekend?
Easter weekend.
Brilliant.
Okay. And what was the reason for that? Why do we have Easter weekend off?
Jesus.
Yeah. But what did he do?
He put himself on the cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, he didn't put himself on.
no.
Does it mean anything to you? Are you moved by that story?
Again, too long ago for me to sort of,
Okay.
to
worry
to
about.
it.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, if there'd have been an Anderson shouter involved,
Yeah.
you'd have been there, wouldn't you? You're not well today, are you, Carl?
Not at all. Don't know
No.
what's wrong with me today. I've got a bit of a temperature.
Have you?
Do you know Steve? He's always on the go at me. Last night when we were out with his mates,
Yeah.
they said he was a bit of a hypochondriac himself.
Did they?
Yeah.
What did they say? What were they saying?
He said, I said, Steve's told me he's not feeling well. Is he alright? You live with him? He said, oh, don't worry about that.
Really?
So he's always saying that, and I said, that's a bit of a fable. I said, cry wolf.
Yeah. One day, say I've got a temperature, and they go, "Oh, I've had the Lemsip," and he'll die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've learnt my lesson.
Yeah. There was one about the boy who cried wolf. The moral can surely only be never tell the same lie twice. You know what I mean? Because if he'd have come up with a different one, he'd have kept them going all year, I reckon.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I never thought of it like that before.
What are we going to play?
A final tune. Have we? What we got a bit of Suede, haven't we?
Well, it depends.
Let's get a bit of Suede in and song for the ladies.
I don't
Let's
think
go
we-
over.
we can't
What's the,
go.
what
Song
is
for
it?
ladies
It's
is
only the
very short.
football. It's only the
You
football.
don't say that. Yeah, I'll give us your song.
What's the
for
football? What's the match? What's this? The gig guide is Long Wave and Guapo and Plankers. What's this? What's the football match?
Go on.
So what are the football matches XFM covering?
Don't know. What
Come
song
on.
would you like?
Track 8.
So Bolton versus Barnsley.
You don't like sport, though, do you? A lot
Well-
of people who do.
Huh?
A lot of people who do. Right, track 8, what are we going for then?
We're going for it's a bit of Stevie Wonder,
Yeah?
and I think it's quite a short song though. Carl, are you sure?
No, that's
it's
cool,
okay?
yeah, it's
It's
cool.
okay. You're okay, are you?
Yeah, yeah.
So this is the final song.
This
Isn't
lost a lot of energy, this show.
This is it.
I mean, the first hour and 40 minutes, I think, was dynamite. I think the last 10 have been
But I met
flagging.
Carl. He was full of life. He was answering the questions and stuff, and now you.
And he got fed up. He got fed up with the quotations. He didn't like us mentioning Radio 1 DJs such as Sarah
Cox.
and Karl.
Oh, Cox.
Yeah, he didn't like that.
Sorry, everyone.
The Strokes and last night. We just had a call, didn't we, from Johnny Mango.
Oh yeah,
Just
Johnny
been-
Mango. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, old the Mankster. And he informed me that one of the Wurzels is dead, and I didn't know that.
Yeah, Adge Cutler, who was the lead man, I think.
Yeah, he said he died the most rock and roll death you can die. He said he was apparently driving on a terrible cocktail of cider and other things, presumably.
Yeah.
Apples and jams.
Yeah.
And he crashed into a tractor. Now, I wonder, is that true?
Who knows?
JM's not winding me up.
Yeah,
I hope the Mango Boy's not having a laugh at me. Is that true? One of the Wurzels died by tractor. Did he? Is that true? So give us a call. What's
If
the
you
number
know.
again, Carl?
08700 800 1234.
If so, I'm sorry that I disrespected them. I didn't know.
Could you imagine
Oh God.
if, right, say if like you're the driver of the tractor, and you kill someone, you go, oh God, I've killed someone, and then you look and it's someone famous.
Yeah, or Adge Cutler. Yeah, go on, what was your point?
No, it's just like, not
Terrifying,
only
yeah.
it's like you've killed someone, then you look.
But
I mean,
yeah, I know what you mean,
And
actually.
what
That
makes
is-
it even
that
worse?
is
And
terrifying.
what makes it even worse? They were rich.
Yeah.
Oh, that
no,
would
but
be.
say if it was someone who's like really big in the world.
No, that is I quite like that. It's an interesting point,
Oh,
that.
that's your bag. No wonder I can't find what I'm looking for.
Oh, right, well...
As Bono said.
Did you bring a bag?
Yeah. Sorry,
Is that under there, Rick?
sorry about this. I'm not
Play a record.
ignoring.
This is getting a bit sloppy here.
No, it's not. No.
No, it is, Rick. It's getting
Is it?
sloppy.
It's never got sloppy before. No, I've got a list here because we went to this award ceremony in the week. We were up for an award.
Well, I have to explain it to Karl, because basically we were up for an award, and it's called it's the Trick Awards. Now, Trick stands for Television and Radio Industries Club Annual Awards, right?
We'd never heard of it either.
We'd never heard of it. It's some kind of, like, television radio industry club. That's what
Yeah, that's the clue, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. So, but we don't want to. I'm not trying to slag off the award
No.
because it was, it was a big thing, and they really made an effort, and it was really nice. Food was brilliant. It was at the Grosvenor House Hotel, really nice do, and lots of industry people in that there. It was really classy.
We got there nice and early, so we were there for a good 4 hours
Before
which
we
was
had
fun.
to sit down, but it was just kind of surreal. It was just a bit weird because it was packed with the cream. I'm literally the cream. Big names, Martin Kemp, one of the first people I saw, came in, like big TV, radio industry names, on-screen talent, behind-the-scenes people.
John Barnes
was there.
Beadle was there.
Sir Cliff Richard was there.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so the voice comes on and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the chairman of the president of the Trick Awards." And we had to stand up. All of these people had to stand up and give a standing ovation as he walked to his table to Tom O'Connor, former presenter of Crosswits.
You are joking.
No.
He's the president.
And he came out, he told a few gags, sort of like, it was like, straight away, it was, old school stuff. You want to thank the ladies, because, it was nothing without the ladies, all the lovely ladies here. And we went for a joke. No. Just thanking the ladies.
Well, you're forgetting that just prior to that, he said grace.
Oh, he said grace.
Before we ate.
Right? It was me, Steve, and Ash, our producer, the little, disabled fella, right? And he's there in his wheelchair, and there's me and Steve. We're standing up during
By the way,
grace.
can I just stop you there?
Go on.
Saw someone in the week, and
Sorry, did we bore you?
you just reminded me then about the
Go on.
little producer who's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Last week you said blah blah blah, and our producer who's in a wheelchair got a text from someone saying, "What's happened to you?" They thought you were talking about me.
Oh, really?
Oh.
So yeah.
Oh.
You're handicapped in a different way.
So go on.
And Tom O'Connor, he said, "Thank you, God, for."
We thought this was a joke initially. We thought it was going to be like a kind of cheeky gag.
That's why we were laughing out loud.
That's why we were laughing raucously.
But anyway, and then he went, "I thank you, God, for this, and help those who walk alone." And Ash went, "What about those that don't walk at all?" He said, "I've never been left out of grace before."
So, but we had to like, kind of like bowed our heads slightly, and did we say amen? I know that we were sort of, a lot of people did.
I'm pretty sure
Cliff,
I
I
didn't.
think, probably chimed in there.
Yeah,
And,
he sang it
Yeah, exactly. So,
like Mariah Carey.
so anyway, but before, again, you see, what Ricky's forgotten is before Tom took to the stage, this guy walks up there, I don't know who he is, says, there's a lot of people here this afternoon, it's a wonderful event, but of course there's a load of celebrities as well.
He said, "Thank you for all the celebrities that have turned up." And then he went, "Table 77, Mr. Russ Abbott."
And we all had
round
to
of
clap.
applause. Can we have the spotlight there?
Russ Abbott, by the way, smoking a pipe. Actually, he looked like a bit like Barrett Holmes, his hilarious Sherlock Holmes character.
Then he went, "Table 107, the cast of Bad Girls." Clap.
We all like to clap.
And then he went, "Table 5, Alice Beer." Clap.
Slightly smaller clapping.
Yeah. And it's just like, and I thought, when is this going to...
He went through every single celebrity in the room.
And there were about, 100.
Table 53, John Inman, everyone. It's John Inman. Round of applause.
Yeah. And, Table 70, Mr. Simon Cowell. Boo.
Yeah, there was booing
No.
there.
And
yeah.
they all booed him.
That was nice.
Yeah, that was a joke. Ironic booing, I think.
Could they cheer for Foxy? Was he on the table?
We didn't see Foxy.
Foxy wasn't there. He was doing his show. When they went up, they won an award, Cowell and Waterman and Chapman.
Table 43, Peter Sissons, everyone. Peter Sissons. Went through every single name. Ricky got so paranoid they might mention him that we kind of legged it upstairs and we're watching from the balconies. They shone the spotlight on our table. And it was largely empty. That was particularly fun. But then at the end, Sir Cliff got up there, right? Because Sir Cliff was giving out the Lifetime Achievement Award, right? He gets up, he used to speak, he goes, "Oh, this is a personal friend of mine, a 7 days a week friend. Lifetime Achievement Award goes to Mrs. Gloria Hunniford." Right? We immediately start thinking, what exactly were her lifetime achievements?
I think living that long.
That's pretty much it. I don't know what it is she's done,
I can
Gloria
tell you
Hunniford.
what she does.
I don't exactly, I know she used to have a Radio 2 show, I don't think that's
We're
on
not
anymore.
dissing her. We're not dissing
No,
anyone.
good luck
We're
to
not taking the mick out of anyone. But
But anyway,
it was
she-
just a strange. It was just a strange event.
But Gloria got taken unawares by this and started to ad-lib a speech, right? And I swear to God, about 12 minutes in, she was telling us how, and I can tell you now if you're interested, her lovely daughter Karen is currently in Australia. It's partly work, it's partly a holiday, Carl, and she's having a whale of a time. But she's not spoken to her for ages.
And then she went, actually, she's been there for a long time.
Yeah,
And it's like, I was thought she was going to go, she doesn't call, you
Yeah.
do that, you get a blue Peter, and this is how she
We thought she was going to get photos out, maybe, start showing it.
No, but it was a nice
bizarre.
event, and, everyone there, Henry Cooper was there, so Henry Cooper.
It was so good because every single element as well was sponsored by someone.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the menu, I've got the programme here, and the menu, right, the pudding is sponsored by Electrolux.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever had a pudding sponsored by
Yeah.
Electrolux.
I was sponsored by Zanussi.
When everyone was doing the prayers, did you look at them with their eyes shut, like you did at school?
What do you mean?
Well, when you had
Did you look at someone with your eyes shut?
No, like you'd do that. You'd do your hands together,
Yeah.
and you sort of look at people with their eyes shut and think that's what they look like when they're sleeping.
Play record.
Didn't you ever do that?
Table 60. Lisa Tarbuck. That's corner shop. Lessons learned from Rocky 1 to Rocky. I love that guitar. That's great. It's real glam rock. That's T-Rex and Bowie. I was going to play something from Ziggy Stardust today, but instead I brought in a different album. I want to play a bit of Bowie. Is that all right?
Oh, of course, yeah, always.
Yeah,
always.
bit of Beatles. Still to come up, by the way. We with the education of Karl. Last week he did Che Guevara. He did very well. Before that, the week before that, you learned all about Rasputin, didn't you? And this week you've been studying Hitler, haven't you? How does that go? How do you reckon that?
It's a bit tough.
Okay.
I mean, I'll give you the full story later, Steve. Do you know much about him?
No.
It's, they're all linked. All these stories I've been reading, they've all got a similar sort of thing going through them. They're born, they have a bit of a tough upbringing. Things aren't going well, and they seem to take it out on other people.
Okay.
Right, I'll tell you more later.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I mean, I don't think Hitler and Che Guevara.
It's the same
sort of
thing. Che Guevara, when he was a kid,
Yeah.
had like asthma.
Yeah.
Right, he wasn't an happy kid. Hitler, he
only had one ball.
Well, I was trying
Right.
to find about that.
Yeah. Seriously, he phoned me up in the week. I said, "How's it going?" He went, "I've skimmed it. I've just skimmed it. I was looking for the testicle thing. Now I don't know if they left that out or it's not true."
Right.
So he was trying to look up that Hitler has only got one ball.
I think they only did it to wind him up. Because it's like, yeah, you might be taking over the world, but we're all saying you've only got one testicle.
Sure.
And it's
So
sort of
did you
knocks
look? Did you look in the index and it sort of Hitler, Adolf, family life, early childhood, testicles, absence of.
sort of skim through, because
One of.
Yeah.
Mother brackets other.
Yeah.
Albert Hall.
Yeah.
the only thing I could find was at one point in like when he was trying to run the place, there was a meeting going on, and somebody had put a bag in the meeting room and it blew up.
Yeah,
and
but
I'm
the
wondering
table
whether it was under the
protected him.
table. Yeah, but
What, you're wondering if it blew a testicle?
It was
Could've
the testicle was under the table.
No,
Like-
the bag blew off the ball.
No, the ball sack was probably hanging below the protective top, and so that's where he could have lost.
But why would he have only just lost the one?
Because
the way he was sitting.
Cross-legged or something? Sure. Okay. Well, I mean, again. I mean, last week we had a Che Guevara expert phoned up. Maybe they could. Maybe there's a Hitler expert this time who could maybe phone up and confirm the testicle theory.
Yeah.
What's the number again, Carl?
Oh wait, 700, 800, 1, 2, 3, 4.
You need to have at least done a PhD or something.
I don't think we should invite calls about Hitler. I think we're asking for trouble.
No, I'm talking about someone who's done a study of him and who's done a PhD.
Oh, okay.
I'm not talking
All right.
about any old nutter.
And also, Carl's lottery numbers. He's a little bit more confident this week.
Okay, good.
He went there more like it, and I looked at him and I laughed. He went, no. Even Suzanne said I'm on more on the right lines there. Is anyone who has done a degree in maths or A-level maths that can bear? Karl won't believe this, right? Karl thinks I was trying to. I know I was partly doing it to confuse him, just see that look on his face like a cat, right? But there is the chances with random numbers, for example the lottery, of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, are no greater than any other single combination.
Right.
Now that's true. I don't mean you're more likely to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 than any other combination put together, but than any other individual combination, they're all equal. It's counterintuitive, I know. I know you think that to get a run of 1 to 6 is less likely than anything else, but it's not. Any named combination... It's not, Karl. If there's a probability...
Well, it's never happened. Yeah, it's never happened.
Yeah, but there's any number of combinations that
never happened. Every one of those combinations that have come up have happened, and they're just as likely or unlikely as any other combination, right? It's just that you feel intuitively, right, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is less likely than 1, 7, 12, 34, 60. You know what I mean?
Well, I didn't win.
Play record.
Okay.
Wu-Tang Clan, Uzi, on XFM 104.9. Well, here we are, the day before St Patrick's Day.
Oh, hooray! Brilliant!
Guinness, etc.
I hate English people, I should say, who are obsessed with celebrating St Patrick's Day. You know, all crazy. It's like Chris Evans used to rave on about it. We're going to Dublin, we're going to get drunk, wow. It's like, it means nothing
I
to
think
English
XFM
people,
just
doesn't
did
it?
that, to be
Well,
honest.
yeah, exactly. Just as bad.
Careful, they are our employers. You don't want to annoy them. What would we do without this?
Well, that's true.
Eh?
Yeah, have an enjoyable Saturday.
No, this is my favourite 2 hours. You like this, don't you?
Well, I don't know.
We can't do this through May and June.
No, we'll be gone.
We've got to record the second series of The Office. What are we going to do, Karl? What are you going to do on a Saturday?
Host the show yourself?
Do it on my own.
Yeah.
You are not.
Are you seriously thinking of it? Have they asked
We've made
you to do
you
it?
everything you...
Why would you not think about it?
Because I've been there, done that.
Next challenge, please!
Oh dear. Do you know what St Patrick did? Why he was revered as a saint and everything? What was he famous for in Ireland? He rid Ireland of something.
I don't know, but I bet he started off with something odd happening in his life.
What, you think he had asthma or something as a kid?
They all do.
And he took it out on what, though?
What did he exactly? He took it out on something. What did he do? What did he rid Ireland of?
St Patrick.
St Patrick.
This is why we're going to get crazy and drunk tomorrow. This is why we're also happy to celebrate his anniversary, or whatever it is we're celebrating. This is
That's why we have a crack.
Yeah, this is why we don't bother to celebrate, the birthdays of James Joyce, one of the great novelists of this century, or Samuel Beckett, one of the great playwrights. We actually celebrate this man, St Patrick, the man who did what?
Don't diss him. He did a good job of it as well, because there's none there now. There are none of these in Ireland. So he rid Ireland of something.
Come on, Karl. Think of something. Just give us an answer. What's the
He
first
went
thing?
round on a horse whacking them and...
He went on a horse whacking them.
Yeah.
What was it, Karl?
What did he rid Ireland of?
Went on a horse. Foxes. I don't know.
No, you're on the right lines.
On the right lines.
Um,
It was an animal.
Oh. Bears.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Des.
Wow! It was snakes.
Right.
And there are no snakes in
He
Ireland.
rid Ireland of all the snakes.
Yeah.
Who did it here then? Because there isn't that many.
Well, I think he had a stab at it over here as well, but got tired and went back.
Yeah.
That's why there's just a few snakes here.
Is
Is it true that there are no snakes in Ireland?
I think it is. I think if someone called this...
And what is there any historical evidence for St Patrick ridding them of... I mean, how did he do it? Was it like the Pied Piper?
See, I'm not convinced that he did go around killing snakes, but there are no snakes
Really?
in Ireland, and that's... Yeah. I don't know the ins and outs. If someone knows the ins and outs, we had a few probability experts and statisticians and maths graduates confirming that indeed I was correct, that the probability of 1 to 6 in a row is no more or less likely than any other single combination in a totally random selection of balls. Which brings us back to Hitler, doesn't it? Because he only had one, didn't he?
Well,
But coming up, we'll be asking Karl all about Hitler, the education of Karl. He's done Rasputin, he's done Che Guevara.
Plus, of course, White Van Karl, where we
White
asked
Van
Karl
Karl.
some of the, his opinions on some of the hot potatoes of the week.
You learned as you go along because you've got something about St Patrick there.
Yeah.
That was thrown in for free. That was an extra...
I'll learn you something here. Snakes.
Well, sorry, can I just stop you there and I'll teach you something, right?
Oh, go on then.
You don't learn someone something, you teach them something.
Yeah.
It's not... one's passive. You
Do you want to know
learn...
Ricky, I'm sorry, mate, but I don't think you should be teaching people how to speak or use grammar. I just don't think it's appropriate.
Snake.
It's embarrassing, frankly. Because there's so many errors that you're making. It's like, where to start with you?
Oh.
Snakes, right? You're talking about snakes.
Yeah.
A lot of snakes are born with two heads. It's like a familiar type thing that happens to snakes. when
Okay.
you're
Yeah. They take it for granted, don't they?
born. Right? Snakes born two heads. They'll fight each other for food, even though it's going in the same body.
Isn't that weird?
Were there kids at school that you went to who had two heads?
The
and did that?
snake twins
Yeah.
from Moseley. Oh,
There was kids at your school with two heads? Was that right? What?
no, they had big heads.
Oh, they had big heads.
And webbed hands, but they
Right.
weren't related. And they weren't friends, because that would have been too obvious,
Yeah.
he said.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve, listen, before you came in, right, I sneezed a couple of times. So if I'm allergic, I've still got a bit of a cold. And I said, oh God, he went, bloody hell. I was like, sorry. And he went, you know you can't sneeze with your eyes open. I went, yeah. And then he was obviously thinking to himself still. And after a pause, he went, would your eyes really fly out? And I started laughing. He went, no, because has anyone ever done that, do you think? Has anyone ever held someone down, torturing them, and held their eyelids open and gave them pepper and see if their eyes would fly out? And he said, and then he went, I'm just looking at him again, the silence, then he went, of his own accord, he just went, I can't see it happening.
Your song here, Ricky.
Oh, Bowie. Sorrow. Beautiful. Sorrow by David Bowie. I got that on a compilation today, but I think it's originally off the Pin-Ups album, the one we did all the covers, because he didn't write that, did he? That was the one with him and Twiggy on the front cover, isn't it?
Right.
I haven't had that for ages. I haven't got that. So
Sorry, you lost me. I don't know what you're talking about.
are you reading a book there?
No, I was just reading the brochure there, the programme, if you will, for the Television and Radio Industries Club Awards that we went to. Incidentally, we lost.
We lost to Linda Green.
Yeah, we didn't win an award.
For the best comedy.
But you might be interested to know that Tom O'Connor is in constant demand for corporate functions both here and abroad, and his client list includes many multinational companies. No mean golfer, Tom took the literary world by surprise in 1992 when his first humorous golf book, From the Wood to the Tees, made the bestseller list. I noticed it didn't take the literary world by storm.
No.
It took it by surprise.
They're going, we can't say storm. We've got to say by surprise from behind.
But his first humorous golf book, From the Wood to the Tees, made the bestseller list. I don't know if that's just books about golf, that bestseller list. Subsequent successful books include One Flew Over the Clubhouse,
Brilliant. Genius.
Take a Funny Turn, Follow Me, I'm Right Behind You, and Eat Like a Horse, Drink Like a Fish.
Does it mention Celebrity Squares? Didn't he do that?
No.
He did,
Crosswits.
name that tune.
Once, right, it's,
Crosswords. Do you remember Crosswords?
It was from the 80s.
It was like a crossword game show.
It was often with Kate Copstick, but I saw one, right. It was on Challenge TV being repeated. And no, Andy Crane. Remember Andy Crane?
Yeah.
He was the link man, and he went, coming up next, Tom O'Connor with Crosswits with well, in my opinion, one of the best Crosswits players of all time, John Junkin.
Oh. Who's your favourite Crosswits player?
It's got to be Junkin for me as well. But Copstick was
Barry
alright.
Cryer's bloody good.
Cryer was good. I watched Call My Bluff in the week.
Is this with Toxic and
yeah,
Colin?
it was quite good. I quite enjoyed
I
it.
imagine you could get on there if you
I
wanted.
used to watch it with what's his name? Famer.
Yeah.
Famer. Yeah. Oh, that was great.
You're
impression.
brilliant impressions, because obviously while Bowie was playing, you were doing your infamous Bowie impression, which is the best one you do, actually.
Well, that's just because Karl said, you know what? He said, I'd love to go out for a drink with David Bowie. Of all the people that come in here for sessions, I think he's really good at him. And I said, I think he'd like you as well. That's all. And I just went, hello, Karl. You're strange. You're alien. It interests me. Myself and Ian, I'd like to put you on them. Yeah, I just imagine you and Bowie in a pub somewhere.
Isn't that pretty much the same impression you do when you do Ian Canfield?
No. Ian Canfield's more like that. But not on air. On air, he's sort of like this sort of eloquent 40-year-old capital DJ.
Yeah.
And,
But when you talk to him in the studio,
he's
like a rock legend.
slowly turning into Tommy Vance, isn't he? This is one of his pillars of rock, Canfield. He loves Vance, Lemmy, Diano.
If we run out of material later in the show, which is likely.
Yeah.
Considering we're now talking about
No,
Ian
we ran out of it at 1:05.
Exactly. But could I maybe just sort of interview you as David Bowie?
Yeah,
in a
that
sort
would-
of humorous sketch?
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Maybe it could be the idea that what if, like, David Bowie was, a cab driver? What would he say? What was some
Well, I
of the
saw
funny
that-
things he would
We
say?
saw that, what was that in when it said, Dead Ringers coming up? If you've ever wondered what, it
Did
would
you
sound
see
like...
this? Dead Ringers is this impressionist show. They did it's on Radio 4 and they did a TV version.
Yeah, I saw it.
What did you make of it?
Didn't like it.
It was alright, no, it was just that the write-up in,
Radio
one
Times, I
magazine,
think it
the
was.
Radio Times, said, ever wondered what it would be like if, Robbie Williams was singing George Formby? Or, what would it be like if, there was an
I think
Animal
it
Hospital
was hosted by Anne Robinson.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually, I have wondered. Were those two sketches on there last night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were they like?
You are the weakest.
You are the weakest dog
skink.
or something?
No, what was it? It was something like they had to vote off an animal to die or something. It was something like that. Yeah, it was.
This is
all right.
flagging. Quick, do your Bowie again.
Oh, come in here. Look, it's Tin Machine. Now let's play changes. Hello, Iggy Pop, you nutter. Stop cutting your sound. Travis, Flowers in the Window on XFM 104.9. 2 o'clock, halfway through. Oh, it's our favourite time, isn't it? My favourite time of the week where we come in here and play some records, have a chat.
Ricky, a lot of people are wondering who you are.
I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant.
Hi.
And there's little Karl over there. Steve, it's time for...
White Van Karl. We should definitely get some jingles. I think the show sort of lacks jingles, I think.
Yeah.
Noises.
Yeah.
Funny sound effects.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Wow. Yeah. What's
Go on.
Mr. Nosy Neighbour interested in? Hello, what's going on here? Oh, we should definitely get some pre-recorded comedy noises, Karl.
Yeah.
for next
yeah, well,
week.
that's my job, but unfortunately I'm busy reading about Hitler.
For those that don't know and aren't familiar with this feature, basically The Sun runs a White Van Man column where it asks just people who, every men and women, their views on news stories from the week, and we decided we'd just ask Karl his opinion on some of the same issues. This week...
Not like us to rip off another idea and just use
no,
it for
no,
our own...
no.
No, but this time...
The White Van Man in the Sun this week is Herbie Crossman from Harrow in Middlesex.
Herbie.
And he's asked his opinion, Karl, and what's yours, on pop idol Will Young admitting he is gay. Come on, Karl.
I don't understand what the big deal is, to be honest.
No.
Talking to different people about it, and they've said, oh, it could affect the sales, girls won't like him anymore, which I think is rubbish.
Yeah, because it finished George Michael's career, didn't it?
Well, yeah, and I was thinking when I was growing up, right,
And Freddie Mercury.
I was into Kim Wilde, right?
Sure.
Now,
And her kids
You're not going
in
to tell me
America.
she's gay, are you?
no, but if they said, oh, she's a leather,
Yeah,
right, I wouldn't say, right, that's it, I'm taking kids in America back to the shop, I'm disgusted.
sure.
I liked her.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever going to meet her and marry her and that. So what does it matter?
Yeah.
Will Young, he's a good voice. He's gay. A lot of gay people in the world.
Georgie boy was gay, I guess.
There you go.
Nothing more and nothing less. The kindest guy I ever knew.
So
Do
no
your
bi-
Bowie.
No big deal.
That's one of your favourite songs, isn't it?
Brilliant.
Killing a Georgie Parts 1 and 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you make of the police protesting to Parliament over reforms?
That's not the band. Before you say.
Right. What's all that about?
Okay, well, the police have had various kind of gripes and grumbles which they've taken to Parliament, try and get them sorted.
Like what?
Well, it could take ages, basically.
They don't like the
Let's go
pointy
into-
helmets anymore.
Yeah.
They want flat caps.
They feel that their powers are restricted. They get a lot of bad press. They're not being paid well.
They
They're
actually,
under
that-
resourced.
they actually demonstrated, didn't they, outside?
I think they may have done, yeah.
It was-
Well, at least they're doing something about it instead of just sitting there moaning. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They're going to the top, trying to sort it out.
Yeah.
I admire that.
yeah.
What do you make of the police generally? Are they doing a good job?
They've woke me up a couple of times at about 4 a.m. when I was a kid.
Right, was that because they were looking
why
for your brother in his tank?
Yeah! Did a Sherman tank just come through here?
Yeah.
No, my mates nicked cars and gave my name and all that.
Right. Were they friends of yours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you make of fears that dumped Britney Spears? She's been dumped by her boyfriend. There's worries that she may be cracking up, Karl.
What
concerned?
are the signs?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm just reading from this section, but I would assume that she's obviously showed signs of depression, maybe.
She'll be all right. I remember, Zoe Harris when she sort of got bored of me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Get over it. I don't even think about it now.
What? And how long did it take you? How long did it take you to get over Zoe?
Zoe Harris.
How long did it take
To be honest, right, it was like one of my first girlfriends, and she was a pain. I remember I went out with her because she wouldn't stop hassling me, right?
Yeah.
I remember.
good reason to fall in love with
that. Oh, go on
I
then.
never talked to her, and then the bit that really got me, I thought I half liked her, and then I remember, right, we were at a school party, sort of infant school,
Infant school.
right?
Are you sure it wasn't junior school?
Well, it's on the cusp,
Yeah.
like, when you're about to leave infants and go to the next one.
Yeah.
And she was crying because
You were saying I don't think we should move in together.
She was crying.
She was crying.
Oh, was she?
Had you
She
stolen
must
her
have
milk?
been- She must have been nearly 6. Why didn't she grow up?
No,
So-
she was crying because somebody had stood on a dress and put a bit of an hole in it. And I said, "Oh, for God's sake!"
I can't stand it. Oh,
So
God.
you,
I just think him.
so you gave her a slap.
I just think of him, he's like 6, like with clogs and a flat cap, going slightly bald, going, for Christ's sake, woman, come on. Oh,
Light my pipe.
That finished it because all her mates were saying, "Come on, Karl, she's upset," and I was like, "Oh, whatever." So I saw her again.
hold on though, wait a minute, what do you mean all the mates were saying, like, come on, Karl? They were 6, weren't they?
Yeah, but they were saying, "Come on, she's crying. Help her out."
And,
Like,
and you
it's
did
just-
nothing?
I
She's
can't.
not injured. Got a hole in her skirt.
Yeah, but she was upset and you were her boyfriend.
Well,
So what did you do? Tell me the story. Where
Oh,
were
it
you?
didn't work out.
You were at some kind of school do. There was a hole in her
That's why
dress.
it didn't work out, he said.
Do you treat your current girlfriend in the same way? This callous disregard for someone's
His
feelings?
current girlfriend does not tread on her dress, does she? Oh, she didn't.
So,
tread on
as
it,
far
did
as
she?
you're concerned, what was her name? Sarah?
Zoe.
Zoe Harris. You just felt like, well, if she's going to make a whinge about, a silly little hole, screw her.
Yeah.
You're all heart, Karl.
What would you have done?
I'd have gone over there and give her a lovely kiss.
You wouldn't.
Yes, I
We
would.
were playing Dead Arm. In the corner.
Ask him another question.
Okay, very final
One more.
thought then. What do you say to the fact that a judge has decided that we, the general public, have a right to know about stars' flings? Basically, this is an excuse. This is basically saying, should papers be allowed to print tittle-tattle about celebrities,
Oh, this is.
providing it's proven true?
Oh, this is something about, isn't it, a Division 1 football or something? It's definitely out of Premiership football, it's unfair. And it is true, but he's trying to keep privacy. And the judge said, well, it's not for us to censor the press over things that are true.
Right.
It's up to the general public to either boycott or not, that publication.
What do you think, Karl? What about all this, exposing, going through the, the bins of celebrities?
It's not right, is it? But
No.
people are interested in it and buy the papers to read it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, like I said to you the other week, everyone has a go at Beckham for not being that bright. But at the end of the day, he's a good footballer. Doesn't really matter what goes on
Yeah.
off the pitch, does it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
But what if you were
I
a
don't
celebrity
really-
and they sort of splashed over the front page the fact that you just, didn't care
Left
less
my
for Zoe
girlfriend
Harris
because-
Yeah.
and her torn dress?
Zoe Harris is still upset.
Yeah, they dug her out, The night Karl Pilkington reduced me to tears.
Nah, I haven't done anything that bad.
Sure.
I wouldn't be worried.
Did you win the dead arm contest?
No. I was thinking about that the other day. Do you think there's a chance I could get blood clots in later life?
Did you play that a lot?
Yeah, a hell of a lot.
Did you ever do it, but like kind of headbutting?
No,
Okay, because that would have explained something.
dead arms.
Sure.
Anymore?
No, that's it, Karl.
And
Thank you very
it
much
was
indeed.
with people's blessing, was it? You had to give them a go.
Yeah.
And you played it with girls.
No.
Alright.
Oh, with my mates.
Right.
So you were
Okay.
playing dead arms while she was off dancing and getting her hole ruined.
Yeah.
You romantic, you.
That's great. And you haven't changed a bit, have you? You still do that to this day, don't you? At functions and events. Oh dear.
Oh,
well,
dear.
what track we got here? You've brought in a track.
Yes,
here,
I
Steve.
just thought I'd dig out some old Elliott Smith. I've quite enjoyed his work, and this was a previous single and the first track from his album Figure 8, Son of Sam.
XFM 104.9.
Sorry, I was going to
Sorry,
back
go on.
announce that track and just mention it was Elliott Smith and the track Son of Sam.
Well, I think I'd just better ask Karl a couple of quick questions about Hitler. then we can get on with our lives.
Okay, and we can tick that particular box.
Yeah, put that. Yeah. Okay, Karl.
Put that particular dictator to bed.
It's week 3 of his education. You've nailed Rasputin and Che Guevara. I don't want to lose complete sight of those. I'll maybe ask you a couple of those in the week just to so you keep your mind on it. But Hitler.
Tell us the story.
What have you learned?
Do you want to ask some questions?
No, not really. Just sum it up in a minute. What do you
Can't
think?
do it in a minute.
Well, can I ask some questions then? Where was he born?
Austria.
Tell us about his early life.
Right, he was a young lad. He
Brilliant.
What in his early life? Okay.
Yeah.
what's the name? His mum was his dad's second cousin, which is a bit weird.
Yeah.
That is weird.
They had 5 kids.
He's going, yeah, it's usually first cousin where I come from. Oh, that's unfair, isn't it? There's no need for that.
There was 5 kids, but only 2 of them, including Hitler, including him and his sister survived. The others died at an early age.
Okay.
Right. Anyway, so they grew up, and the mum died and the dad died and that, and he thought, oh, what am I going to do? Because he didn't do well at school, didn't have many qualifications.
No.
Liked art.
Did he have a GCSE in history?
Liked art, right? And then, so he said, right, I'm going to go to Munich. I missed a bit out, actually. Jewish people were in Austria, he didn't really like them.
Okay.
He thought they got, special treatments and stuff, and just didn't like them. So he went to Munich, and he joined the army.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And he was in the army, and he got injured.
Right.
So he went to hospital, and whilst he was in hospital, the World War One ended, and he was like, "Oh God, I want."
I was enjoying that.
Yeah, so don't, because you're breaking the concentration.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm not even sure I want to join in on this one, just in case.
Okay.
Right, go on.
Right. So
He was in hospital. World
He's
War
in
ended.
hospital. It gets a bit better. He's never that fit though. He's one of these blokes who was always ill. Was on something like 30 tablets a day or something. Comes out of there, joins some other army.
Right.
God, I knew it all this morning. But
I can see it running to ground. I just see his face going, I'm not nailing the fact, am I? And joined another army, and he was moustache.
Listen, let's try and help you. So,
Here's a good bit. I remember this bit. He thought that war to men, right, was like childbirth is to women. That's how important he thought he was.
All right.
Right? So it's like, you fight for 9 months, and at the end of it, you own something, right?
Yeah.
So, he goes on and all that. He's in Berlin.
Yeah.
And he's fighting his way through, trying to take over countries and that. And he does he do Berlin? Does he?
sorry, wait a minute. Is he Chancellor yet?
What year is it? 35.
So let's skip the kind of climb to power. Then he's now the dictator of Germany.
Right, he's in charge, yeah. And this is when he gets his own back on the Jewish people and that, and he's got his own little armies, and he's setting fire to Jewish businesses and all this. And anyway, cut a long story short,
Please do.
He when he came to fighting Britain,
Yeah.
came a bit sort of unstuck,
Yeah.
right? Started fighting.
Not
back.
so easy, is it, this world domination, Adolf?
Britain was there, France was helping out,
Yeah.
Americans were helping out.
Yeah.
So he thought, oh God, so
a bit late, but yeah, go on.
he goes into a bunker in Berlin,
Yeah.
and it's all kicking off,
Yeah.
and apparently Germany sort of surrenders,
Yeah.
says it's all over, forget it, we can't beat you. He was really annoyed with this, and he thought, oh, I can't show my face around here. So
Because it would be embarrassing.
he's with his missus, who nobody knew was his wife,
Right.
Eva, in this bunker.
Yeah.
And so he said, I've had enough of this. He shoots himself.
Yeah.
She poisons herself, and the chauffeur buries them or something, or burns them.
Right.
And in all the time he was in charge, 50 million people died.
So that's 1918 to 1945.
Yeah.
Between
It felt like that.
between Travis and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Next week, That's fantastic.
That's remarkable. I have to say that you sort of lost your grasp somewhere along the line, because you started off confidently, but you lost your way.
I've had a really busy week, and last night I was like whizzing through it.
Sure.
And then this morning I woke up, and Suzanne had been away for about 3 days, right?
Yeah.
I hardly spoke to her. She's been busy, I've been busy. First thing I say when I wake up, just ask me some stuff on Hitler.
You are romantic. That's great.
That's how stressful it's getting. But I knew it all this morning, honestly.
No, but that's fine. I think you've summed up you've done that. Right,
captured it in essence.
just for a bit of balance, I've got your next week's homework. It's the same series. There's little books. There's tiny little books, just 3 inches long by 2 inches wide.
Crammed with so much information. Though.
Winston Churchill. There you go. You'll enjoy that. Yeah?
I'm getting a bit bored now, though. This is what happened in school.
Think of the listeners.
Did really well in infants. Once got to secondary, lost interest.
Was it the breakup between you and Harris?
And Zoe. I'm wondering if you've spiralled into something there.
Yeah, because it's like all these other, these men of history. They always had sort of things happen in their early childhood, didn't they? Maybe yours is the Zoe Harris dress incident.
Well, let's just refer to it as the Zoe incident.
Yeah.
From now on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Winston Churchill, the bit I left out in the Hitler story, Hitler was scared of this man.
Yeah.
And I can tell you something else about Winston Churchill.
Go on.
He said he can remembers being in the womb. And he was born in a public toilet.
Play a record. PJ Harvey, This Is Love, XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl. Karl called me in the week, Steve. I know we sort of banned each other from speaking to him.
What, you seem to have just disobeyed that rule every
I
week?
can't believe it. I just can't resist it. But he said, just saw a programme. He said, what's that big balloon that blew up? And the newsreader was going all mental. And I went, is that the Hindenburg? He went, yeah. Oh, I said it was a big Zeppelin. He went, yeah. He went, what happened? I said, it was helium, wasn't it? And I went, yeah. So it was just a huge Zeppelin full of helium. And what caused us? I don't know. It could be a spark or anything, but of course it just goes, because it's helium so flammable. And he went, now they didn't show this in the documentary, but did all their voices go funny? And I went, what? He went, well, no, even if you take a little bit of a little balloon of helium, your voice goes funny. So if that was like millions of gallons of it, and it blew up in the air, and it was in the atmosphere, you'd be talking like Donald Duck. He went. So imagine that. What I liked about it, I said, this wasn't in the documentary.
No, it's an oversight. Maybe just time was against him. They didn't have time to explain.
Just like that, but that book about Hitler didn't have his one ball incident.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
It's annoyed me, that.
What? What?
The old Hitler book.
Why?
Just because I knew it all. Do you know what I mean? I was cycling in today. I was like, going through it all again.
Yeah.
Had it all in my head.
But that's why you should know something as opposed to just cram and have a piece of trivia that's precariously sort of teetering on the edge.
But what I don't understand,
you know what I mean?
It's well, you're not interested by it.
That's what I
mean.
mean.
It's one of the most fascinating things.
You know about things you're interested in. You never forget them, do you? You know.
Yeah, I was a bit interested in it, but like I say, I mean, I'm cramming all this into a normal week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go on and, you watch telly and that in the week, you've got loads of leisurely time. I'm sort of using the only little bit of rest time I have to learn, as well as trying to do all my other stuff.
Yeah.
He texted me yesterday about Hitler. He went, stop making me read this heavy shit. He said, I've seen in the back of this book, there's one on Elvis.
No, I mean, it is interesting, but not when you have to read it, do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's
But
more
do you
like
think you'd
the
have read
other
it in your leisure time?
time. To be honest?
No, you wouldn't have, would you?
I wouldn't.
No, he's
What
not
do you do in your leisure time?
I like, going out for food and that.
For foraging? What do you mean going out for food?
going
They come have a little hole and go,
Go hunting.
Yeah. This is Karl. He's hungry. He knows he has to get to the greasy spoon by 11. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Many of Karl's close friends have never made it across this road.
There was a zebra crossing installed just for the safety of Karl. Beep, 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 beep. Can I have a bacon butty and... Karl is enjoying his... Wow, but he has to get back.
His girlfriend's asked for one as well. She's home with a PlayStation 2.
Wow.
Oh.
Beep.
All right, Rick. it was David Bowie impressions earlier. Now it's just a selection of crazy sound effects, like that guy in Police Academy.
You said you wanted some. He hasn't got time to make them up. He's reading about Hitler. You heard him.
Do a machine gun or a helicopter.
We've got to do all our own sound effects. Oh. So do you want a week off? Do you not want to learn about Winston Churchill? Why don't you read it if you want to, and just if you get interested, then read on. I think
Because that's what I did with school, and it didn't work.
No, you decided you didn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
but hasn't that taught you something?
Can't we just do it like a TV series? It doesn't go on forever. We've done 3 weeks. Give it a rest now for the summer.
Yeah, because most series last for 3 weeks.
Oh, you know.
Yeah. Okay. What's your favourite subject in the world? What's your favourite thing in the world?
I would have said what at school, like.
No, just in life. What are you interested in?
I like little interesting bits, like
sentences.
Atlantic Ocean. It's got 17 quadrillion gallons of water in it.
Right.
Well, that's interesting without having to read a book.
Why is that interesting though? What are you basing that on? When you think of 17 quadrillion,
it's a lot, isn't it?
What are you imagining?
Just like a big wave. Imagine how much water.
Yeah.
Well, what's your subject then?
I don't know. No, it's just that Wilson, what's your favourite subject? You gave me a fact that is so.
No, but that sort of thing. Like I said to you before, you were talking about monkeys, and I said, do you know that if you give a monkey a childbirth tablet, it works on it the same way because it's kitted out the same.
Could I just say something? We weren't talking about monkeys.
What were we talking about then?
No, we were talking about something completely different, and you went, if you give a monkey a childbirth pill, it works. That's what you said.
No, we were talking about monkeys.
We were talking about sneezing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you went, if you give a monkey childbirth pills, it works. That's.
Well, we were talking about interesting things about sneezing, and I remembered an interesting fact about monkeys. So.
Anyway, 2:30, brilliant. What did happen to that bloke who used to make the sound effects in Police Academy?
I don't know.
He was brilliant, wasn't he? Do you remember him?
I don't remember
Was
him.
he called Hightower?
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah?
If anyone knows, give us a call.
God.
Girls and boys.
You've embarrassed yourself then, Gervais.
What?
Well, we've had a number of calls and emails pointing out that the Hindenburg disaster was not because the Zeppelin was filled with helium,
Hydrogen.
but filled with hydrogen.
Right, okay. Well, I thought about that when he told me in the week.
Well, yeah, but
I assumed he must have got that off from the documentary. So it just went up. So that's probably why the voices didn't go
That was
funny.
probably why it didn't feature in the documentary.
Yeah.
But it seems to me we should have thought of that. I mean, like, it's school fates and stuff where they're, like, filling little balloons with helium.
Yeah.
You know, there'd be all kinds of horror stories if they were just, just blowing up, left, right and centre. I don't think you can just blow helium up like that, can you?
What?
Isn't that the point? What I'm saying is it can't be as potentially lethal as hydrogen, helium.
What, hydrogen isn't as bad as helium?
No, helium's not as bad as hydrogen.
I don't know what you're saying, because that Hindenburg was hydrogen.
Yeah, and I'm saying, why did we think it was helium? That's crazy. You go to school fates and stuff with, like, little kids, and they're filling up little balloons with helium. They wouldn't have big canisters of helium, at a charity event, or, a small kind of bring and buy sale if it was deadly.
Yeah, but it's not as big. I mean, when you buy those balloons at a fair, it's not as big as that big
But presumably
balloon.
it's still flammable, is it?
But it wasn't the fact how dangerous the rare gas was, or it was the fact that it was made of this thing that caught fire and just went. There was nothing. A hole in it would have been as bad. It just burnt quickly and fell to the ground because the hydrogen or helium escaped. It wasn't. It was irrelevant that what the gas was, wasn't it?
I thought it was that there was supposed to be some kind of explosion.
Well, I don't know what it was, but the point is because the outer thing was so thin, right? The gas inside escaped and it fell to the
So
ground.
it just fell to the ground like when you've popped a balloon.
Well, not
It didn't
quite.
sort of go.
It didn't like flap all over the
No.
place and make a zany noise.
But I tell you what, because when I was looking on the internet in the week for it, I was like trying to get a bit more info on it. Guess how many balloons it would take, helium balloons, to lift a human up?
Go on.
6,000.
Should we do it?
If you want.
Brilliant. Next week, that's got to be a challenge.
Is there a sort of balloon company or some sort of party company that are willing
to sponsor us to lift Karl
into the air
Right.
with helium balloons.
10 feet off the ground, where we're tether him down, right? Is there someone willing to pay for 6,000 balloons to try and lift
We
Karl
could maybe
up?
get some kind of company to sponsor it. I'm thinking like Electrolux, if they're going to sponsor puddings.
If they're going to sponsor puddings, you know, and celebrities, Russ Abbott, they will sponsor Karl being lifted. Heat magazine, come on. They're a big selling, very successful magazine there, and they'd know about Karl because they've mentioned him. Heat magazine, can we have a heat balloon? Yeah? Oh,
6,000's an awful lot,
into the
Rick.
air. Yeah, it's the 6,000 Karl challenge. Lift Karl 10 feet into the air.
Yeah.
Come on.
What about if it was Karl and Dr. Fox? We could get 2 different balloons.
I think we need a lot more than
a
6,000.
lot more for Fox, isn't it?
Mix, yeah. The heights. I just explain what I'm laughing at. Right, we just had a call from someone saying his company would sponsor Karl, right, to be raised by all these balloons if he could have a walk-on part in the office. And we immediately went, oh, we're worried about that sort of thing. You can't really promise that artistic, you know. And I was worried about the legality of it as well. How can you promise someone that for personal gain that's a private, and all that sort of stuff, right? And I went, oh, I don't know. And anyway, put the phone down to him, and Karl went, I love the fact you're more effing worried about that than me being raised 30 feet in the effing air. You started getting scared, did you? Are you worried about it?
Well,
You're quite excited about the idea of the challenge, though, aren't you?
I like the idea, but I want, like...
Why do you like the idea, Karl?
Oh, what if it went all wrong and we're there going, oh, the humanity of it.
I think we need
Karl,
to get...
he's just
and the rope would pull out my trousers and punch me.
Oh, no, it's definitely got to be Dr. Fox if that's going to happen.
Oh, God. Oh, we've got to do this.
So hang on, but let's just think about because wait a minute, I mean, we say this, but we'd have to get all kinds of health and safety people involved.
No, we wouldn't.
Of course we can't just start raising you in the air.
No, you're allowed to do it on private land, aren't you?
Look what happened to the Hindenburg!
No, but I was just saying there was lots of people died. Listen, look, all we do is we get someone, right?
But what if he gets loose and he just floats off into the air?
No, he never, and he meets his magpie that he lost. He used to peck his grifter.
Balloons.
So,
I'm so excited about this. Listen, we've got to do this.
No, but
Please.
shut up a minute. Let's
No.
just stop and think about it. It's
Right.
60,000 balloons.
Look, no,
Was
it's
it
not. It's
6,000?
6,000.
But 6,000 balloons, that's a lot of balloons.
No, it's not. No, it's
don't
not.
be silly.
For
6,000
sponsorship, people pay for... no, listen, it's worth it. There must be a company out there that'll pay for this, just so we can film
Hang
it.
on, is there not an easier way of just getting one big balloon? Then the challenge is there's no challenge
No,
then.
it's
Yeah,
got to
it's
be.
not
It's
funny.
got to have people coming up and hooking balloons. It'd be like Buckaroo, and the person who puts the balloon that actually raises him 10 feet wins a prize or something.
So hang on, so what we've got each person with like 500 balloons.
Yeah.
That's mad. Can you imagine how many balloons that is? That's ludicrous.
6,000. Yeah.
That's an awful lot of balloons.
I don't know. There must be someone that could do this. Oh look, people have walked on the moon for Christ's sake. We can raise Karl Pilkington with some balloons.
Yes, but they had a NASA budget. We've got XFM behind us.
Yeah, but balloons,
Yeah.
balloons are cheap. You can get about a pack of 25 for about 150.
Right, fine.
No,
True.
Yeah, the helium though, Karl. You can't just like attach yourself to a pack of balloons.
No, but
What, you think we blow them all up?
with helium,
Right.
Oh.
off you go.
But then we can do something with the balloons, can't we? Like release them afterwards.
Oh, we'll release them back into the wild. Brilliant, as a sign of peace. Fly, my pretties, fly,
Listen,
be free.
I am so excited. I have not been so excited about, and I thought that Robin Ince was going to stay in my cupboard for £1,000. Look, we've got to do this.
6,000 balloons. I don't think it's going to happen. That's an awful lot of balloons, and I just I don't see how we can tether them all to Karl. He's a small man.
No, but
because
you
you
can,
have about different lengths, don't you?
yeah, exactly. Karl knows.
Can you think about the logistics of this?
Oh, someone must know. There must be a company. There's a bloke willing to do it. I know he doesn't know the technology of it. He's willing to sort of stump up.
And
What if a company just
Come on,
has
we-
access to helium like that?
But we can do this. Come on,
And
London,
someone's done
Londoners.
It was on the internet already, so someone obviously has done it.
Yeah.
So they didn't say, oh, we can't get hold of the balloons.
No, they probably worked it out, didn't they?
I
Must have
can't,
been.
Karl, you're more excited about this than anything else. About your education, about your exam results.
it's
You're so
exciting.
excited.
And we'll have a little rope. It'll be like flying a little kite, a little Karl. Let's go.
Karl, what
fly.
will you wear? Like a one-piece jumpsuit?
Yeah, it'd be lovely.
With sponsorship all over it.
Oh, it'd be
Yeah.
great. You know, like Jackie Stewart, and just as you go up your little face, oh my god, I'm not going to sleep until this is done. This is the most exciting thing ever.
Only 10 feet.
10 feet, yeah. And
We
we'd
need
tether you.
we'd need some kind of rope to sort of tether you to the ground. We
Yeah.
don't want you sort of flying off.
This is going to be great. And he'd have a little crash helmet and everything, and little deedee boppers on the crash helmet, like
Yeah.
he's a little flying ant.
Definitely.
We give him a little, oh my god, can we give you an outfit like little wings and everything?
Can we paint your face with like children's
No,
paint?
I'm not
Yeah.
doing all that.
Why?
Oh, because that would be silly.
Oh, please, Karl, do this. Do it. We'll do it for charity. We'll do it for charity, yeah?
Alright.
Yeah? Oh, this is
We'll do it for children in
brilliant.
need.
Please, just phone in if you can help us. Lift Karl up 30 feet. Let's say 30
I think
feet.
it has to be a decent.
Yeah, it has to be a decent
Well,
height.
is there a world record? Because we want to break that if we're
Yeah, I
going
want to break that. What is the world record for raising a man by balloons?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh.
listen, let's just finalise details here. We've got
I'm so excited.
email address ricky.gervais
Yeah.
at xfm.co.uk.
Yeah.
Ricky.gervais at xfm.co.uk.
What's the number? What's the number?
The number, Karl?
08 700 800 1234.
Give it
Lift
again, give it
Karl.
again.
Lift Karl.
08 700 800 1234.
Sponsored by Heat Magazine
And
or
you,
something.
maybe
like
even if you've just got an idea about how we might be able to organise it, how we might be able to get it done, if you've got contacts, anything, just get in touch, give us some information.
Oh, that'd be great. I'm gonna play a Beatles track for song for the lovers.
Oh, man.
It's off the Help album, and it's You've Got to Hide Your Love Away. Oh, just think of his little face as he goes. Oh.
Could be televised.
Well, XFM, it's nearly the end of the show. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant. We've enjoyed your company. Karl, we're going to try and get Karl in the air. Anyone that can help us, take him up with helium balloons. Our friend Johnny Mango called again, and apparently the record's 11,000 feet. Karl is getting a little bit nervous.
Yeah, the world record is 11,631 feet raised by hot air balloons.
Yeah.
How tall's Canary Wharf?
It's 11,631 feet. Exactly.
What's-
I don't know, Karl.
Is it how much higher?
It's a long way.
More.
I'm not doing
Lot-
Because I'm like 6 foot something.
Yeah, think of that. Just look at Steve.
Alright?
Yeah.
But you can change your record. You could say, well, the sort of balloons are the one with Mickey Mouse on it or something.
Yeah, could I just
Change it
could I just
slightly.
say something? That man did 11,000 feet, but he wasn't naked. All right,
Come on, Karl.
your 30 feet will be the world record for naked ballooning. Yeah, think about it.
Alright, it's for charity.
Well, thank you for listening, everyone. We are going to raise Karl. We are going to raise Karl. And after Karl said, and just to think, my teacher said I'd never be a high flyer. So this is your chance, Karl, to shine, to fly.
Steve.
It'll be brilliant. This is a final song for the ladies. Belle and Sebastian, we've not heard them for a while. This is from, it's actually a B-side or a triple side or whatever you call it. Track 3 on a single called Jonathan David. This is the beautiful The Loneliness of the Middle Distance Runner. Play it.
Goodbye.